Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Jefferson nickel coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into the intriguing world of a coin that many people overlook but could be hiding a fortune. We're talking about the United States of America 5-cent coin from 1973, commonly known as the nickel. This coin may not seem like much at first glance, but trust me, there's more to this little piece of history than meets the eye. The 1973 5-cent coin was struck during a remarkable time in American history. The country was transitioning through the early 1970s, a period that witnessed economic change, social upheaval, and significant political shifts. The United States was still reeling from the effects of the Vietnam War, and the nation was beginning to experience inflationary pressures that would lead to changes in its economic landscape. Despite these challenges, 1973 was a year of prosperity for some, and it marked a time when the United States was beginning to explore a new era in terms of coinage. The 5-cent coin from 1973 carries with it more than just a simple monetary value. It represents a moment in time when the country was in flux, experiencing the growing pains of modernity. As the U.S. navigated these turbulent waters, coins like the 1973 nickel were used by millions of Americans in their everyday lives. It wasn't just a coin, it was part of the national experience, representing the average person and the economy during the early 70s. When we take a closer look at the design of the 1973 nickel, we can start to see why this coin is so interesting. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll notice a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, who played a pivotal role in the founding of the nation. The likeness of Jefferson that appears on the nickel is based on the famous painting by artist Rembrandt Peale, which has been used on U.S. nickels for many years. The design was first introduced in 1938 and has become one of the most iconic and enduring images in American coinage history. Jefferson's image on the coin symbolizes the ideals of democracy, freedom, and the foundations of the nation, which continue to resonate with Americans to this day. On the reverse side of the 1973 nickel, you'll find a depiction of Jefferson's Monticello estate in Virginia, where he lived for many years. Monticello is one of the most recognizable homes in the U.S., with its distinct neoclassical architecture and connection to Jefferson's life. The image of Monticello on the reverse side of the nickel serves as a reminder of the nation's roots and the complex history that shaped its development. It is a symbol of the Enlightenment values Jefferson embraced, as well as a reflection of America's early colonial history. Now, let's dive into the minting details of the 1973 nickel. This coin was minted at 3 locations across the United States: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The majority of the 1973 nickels were produced in Philadelphia and Denver, while a small number were struck in San Francisco for collectors. These coins were made from a combination of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving them a distinctive appearance and weight. They have a smooth edge and are 21.21 mm in diameter, making them slightly larger than a dime. The nickel has a mass of 5 grams, which gives it a substantial feel in the hand. Despite being minted in large quantities, the 1973 nickel is becoming harder to find in good condition due to its widespread circulation. Most coins from this era were used extensively in everyday transactions, which led to wear and tear. However, certain well-preserved examples, particularly those that have been kept in pristine condition, are highly sought after by collectors. These coins are considered valuable not only because of their historical significance but also because they've survived the test of time in such good condition. One of the things that makes the 1973 nickel so appealing to collectors is its status as a part of the broader series of Jefferson nickels. This series, which started in 1938 and continues to this day, is one of the longest running in U.S. coinage history. The 1973 nickel is especially sought after by those who collect the entire Jefferson nickel series, as it represents a key year in the series' long history. But beyond that, There are also several variants of the 1973 nickel that make it even more interesting to collectors. Some 1973 nickels were struck with small variations that can make them more valuable. For example, certain coins were minted with different die varieties, which can create subtle differences in the design elements. These variations, often referred to as error coins, are highly prized by collectors because they represent unique examples that are different from the standard issue. Collectors love to hunt for these rarities, as they can be worth significantly more than their regular counterparts. In addition to die varieties and minting errors, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. A 1973 nickel in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used in daily transactions and has been preserved in near-perfect condition, can fetch a premium price. Coins with very little wear, such as those with no visible scratches or scuff marks, are particularly valuable to collectors. These coins are often kept in protective cases or slabs to ensure their condition remains pristine. So, what makes a 1973 nickel particularly valuable? While these coins were minted in large quantities, finding one in excellent condition is a rarity. Most nickels from this year have been circulated extensively, leading to signs of wear such as scratches, discoloration, or faded details. When a coin has survived in almost perfect condition, without significant wear and tear, it becomes highly desirable in the coin collecting community. Now, let's talk about the big question: how much is a 1973 nickel worth today? If you're lucky enough to have one of these rare coins in top condition, you could be holding something truly valuable. The value of a 1973 nickel can vary depending on its condition, mint mark, and any potential errors or unique features it may possess. In general, a standard 1973 nickel in average condition might only be worth a few cents more than its face value. However, if you have an uncirculated or error coin, it could be worth much more. For example, an uncirculated 1973 nickel can fetch prices in the range of several $100s, especially if it's a high-quality specimen that has been carefully stored and preserved. Error coins, those with unique characteristics or minting flaws, can command even higher prices, as collectors are always searching for these rarities to add to their collections. But here's the jaw-dropping part: if you happen to have one of the rarest 1973 nickels in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, or if it has an exceptional minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $59,000. That's right, $59,000 for a single 1973 nickel. It's incredible to think that such a small, seemingly insignificant coin could hold such immense value. So, if you happen to come across a 1973 nickel in your collection, or if you're searching through your spare change, make sure to take a closer look. You just might have a small fortune in your hands. Top 2, we're diving into a true hidden treasure from the world of numismatics, the United States 5-cent coin from 1974. At first glance, you might think this is just another ordinary nickel, but there's so much more to this coin than meets the eye. The 1974 nickel holds a fascinating history and a story that could be worth more than you'd expect. Stay tuned as we take a deep dive into this coin's background, design, minting process, and of course, the jaw-dropping value it might carry in the world of collectors today. Let's start with some historical context. The year 1974 was a pivotal time for the United States. The country was in the midst of a great deal of political and economic change. The Vietnam War had recently ended, and the U.S. was recovering from the social and political upheavals of the late 1960s and early 1970s. President Richard Nixon was in office, and his second term was filled with both achievement and controversy. This was also the year of the Watergate scandal, which would later lead to his resignation in 1974. The economy was experiencing high inflation and an oil crisis, but amidst all of this turmoil, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins like the 5-cent nickel. The United States Mint had been producing the 5-cent coin, or nickel, since 1866. By 1974, the design of the nickel had remained relatively unchanged for several decades. The iconic image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, had been adorning the obverse side of the coin since 1938. The reverse side of the coin, which typically featured Monticello, Jefferson's estate, had also been consistent since the 1930s. However, even though the basic design remained the same, the 1974 coin holds special significance due to the circumstances surrounding its production and the subtle differences that make it unique. On the obverse of the 1974 nickel, you'll see a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, which was based on the famous painting by artist Rembrandt Peale. This image of Jefferson is known for its dignified and stately appearance, capturing the essence of the man who was not only a founding father but also a key figure in the early development of the United States. Jefferson's face, carefully sculpted on the coin, represents the ideals of democracy, liberty, and freedom that formed the foundation of the nation. It's an enduring design, one that has been recognized and appreciated by generations of Americans. Turning to the reverse side of the 1974 nickel, you'll find an image of Monticello, Jefferson's plantation home in Virginia. Monticello is one of the most iconic homes in America, recognized for its neoclassical architecture and its role in Jefferson's life. The design was first used on the nickel in 1938 and has remained unchanged for decades. It's a symbol of Jefferson's contributions to the country, as well as a reminder of the complexities of American history. The Monticello design reflects the elegance of Jefferson's architectural vision, but it also speaks to the complicated legacy of slavery that was tied to his estate. This juxtaposition of beauty and historical complexity adds depth to the coin's symbolism. In terms of minting details, the 1974 nickel was produced in large numbers, much like its predecessors. It was minted at 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia Mint was the primary source of production for the 1974 nickel, while the Denver Mint also contributed a significant portion of the mintage. The San Francisco Mint, known for producing proof coins, struck a limited number of special editions for collectors. The 1974 nickel, like many other coins of the time, was made from a combination of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a standard composition for U.S. coins. The coin has a diameter of 21.21 mm and weighs 5 grams. Its edge is smooth, without any ridges or reeding. These features are consistent with the standard specifications for nickels, and the coin is easily recognizable by its size and weight. Despite being minted in large quantities, finding a 1974 nickel in pristine condition can be a rarity. Most of these coins were used in everyday transactions and circulated extensively. As a result, many of them show signs of wear, such as scratches, discoloration, and fading. However, collectors often seek out well-preserved examples, especially those that have been kept in excellent condition over the years. Coins that have been carefully stored or have spent little time in circulation are highly prized for their preservation. For collectors, the 1974 nickel is especially appealing because it is part of the larger Jefferson nickel series. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of U.S. coinage for decades, and many collectors focus on completing a full set of these coins, from 1938 all the way to the present day. As part of this series, the 1974 nickel holds particular interest for collectors who are building their collections around specific years or trying to find rare or unique examples of these coins. In addition to its status as part of a long-running series, the 1974 nickel has other aspects that make it appealing to collectors. Some versions of the coin may have slight design variations, die errors, or other minting inconsistencies. These variations can make certain coins more valuable, as error coins and variations are highly sought after in the numismatic community. Whether it's a minor mistake in the minting process or a subtle change in the design, these coins are often worth much more than their standard counterparts. Another factor that adds to the value of the 1974 nickel is its condition. While most of the coins from this year are circulated, uncirculated examples are significantly rarer and more desirable. A coin that has never been used in everyday transactions and has remained in excellent condition can command a higher price among collectors. Coins that are graded as mint state or proof are especially valuable, as these coins are essentially flawless and represent the pinnacle of the minting process. So, how much is the 1974 nickel worth today? The value of a 1974 nickel can vary greatly depending on its condition, mint mark, and any special features it may have. A standard 1974 nickel, if in circulated condition, is typically worth only a few cents above its face value. However, a coin in uncirculated or mint state condition can be worth significantly more, sometimes hundreds of dollars. If the coin has a rare minting error or is a special variant, the value can skyrocket even further. And now for the big reveal: if you happen to own one of the rarest and most pristine 1974 nickels, or if it has a valuable minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $56,000. Top 3. We're exploring a fascinating treasure from U.S. coinage that may not get as much attention as it deserves: the United States 5-cent coin from 1985. You may be wondering, what makes this coin so special? Well, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see just how significant this nickel truly is, not just in terms of history, but also its incredible value today. The 1985 5-cent coin is part of the long-standing Jefferson Nickels series, which has been circulating since 1938. Over the years, this humble coin has undergone various design changes, minting processes, and historical contexts, but what makes the 1985 version so intriguing? To understand its worth, we need to take a journey through time, examining the era it was minted in, the design choices that define it, and why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for this specific year. Let's begin by placing the 1985 nickel in historical context. The 1980s were a time of transition for the United States. The country was coming out of the stagflation period of the 1970s and entering a new phase of economic growth. Under President Ronald Reagan's administration, there was a focus on economic reforms, including tax cuts, deregulation, and the strengthening of the military. The 1985 nickel was produced during this period of economic recovery and social change, and it serves as a reminder of the era's optimism and challenges. At the same time, the United States was also navigating the evolving role of the federal government and its interaction with the rest of the world. The Cold War was still ongoing, and tensions with the Soviet Union continued to shape foreign policy. In many ways, the 1985 nickel reflects the stability and continuity of the nation, despite the larger geopolitical concerns of the time. It was, after all, just a small coin in everyday circulation, but like all coins, it tells the story of the period in which it was made. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of the 1985 nickel. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson has been featured on the nickel since 1938, and this design, created by artist Felix Schlag, is one of the most iconic images in American coinage. The portrait of Jefferson is based on the famous painting by artist Rembrandt Peale, capturing the president in his later years. This timeless image of Jefferson symbolizes the ideals of liberty, democracy, and the founding principles of the United States. The reverse side of the 1985 nickel features the image of Monticello, Jefferson's neoclassical estate in Virginia. Monticello, with its distinctive architecture, serves as a symbol of Jefferson's contributions to the country, as well as his intellectual pursuits. The reverse design has been in place since 1938, and it continues to resonate with collectors for its depiction of American history and culture. The Monticello design reflects Jefferson's role as an architect, philosopher, and statesman, and it serves as a lasting tribute to his legacy. But what makes the 1985 nickel stand out in terms of its minting and collector appeal? The answer lies in the finer details of production. The 1985 nickel was struck at 3 different mints: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The majority of the coins were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, but a small number of proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint for collectors. These proof coins, made specifically for the numismatic market, have a special finish that makes them highly desirable among collectors. The proof coins from San Francisco have a mirror-like surface, giving them a much more polished look compared to the standard circulation coins. In terms of its composition, the 1985 nickel was made using the same combination of 75% copper and 25% nickel as all other nickels. The coin has a diameter of 21.21 millimeters and weighs 5 grams, maintaining the standard size and weight of the nickel. The edge of the coin is smooth, with no ridges, which is typical for U.S. nickels. Despite its simple design and consistent composition, the 1985 nickel is an important part of the Jefferson Nickels series, which continues to be a popular choice for collectors today. Now, let's talk about the rarity of the 1985 nickel. While the coin was minted in large quantities, its rarity comes from the condition in which it survives. Like most coins, the 1985 nickel was widely circulated, used in everyday transactions, and subject to wear and tear. Over time, many of these coins became scratched, discolored, and worn down. However, some of the coins from this year were kept in pristine condition, either by collectors or those who happened to hold onto them without using them in circulation. The most valuable 1985 nickels are those that have been carefully preserved and remain in uncirculated condition. An uncirculated coin is one that has not been used in daily transactions and has retained its original luster and details. These coins are often graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by professional grading services, with higher grades indicating better condition. Coins that are graded 65 or above are considered to be in excellent condition and are highly sought after by collectors. A 1985 nickel in mint state can command a premium price, particularly if it has been preserved without any noticeable flaws. But what about special editions or error coins? While the 1985 nickel is relatively standard in terms of design, there are still some variants and errors that can make the coin even more valuable. For example, some 1985 nickels may have been struck with minor design flaws, such as misaligned dies or other minting errors. These coins, known as error coins, are extremely rare and highly collectible. A misprint or minting anomaly can add a significant amount to the value of the coin, as collectors are always on the lookout for these rare, one-of-a-kind items. In addition to error coins, proof coins minted in San Francisco can also be worth more than regular circulation coins. These coins were produced specifically for collectors and are often sold in sets. Proof coins are typically struck multiple times to achieve a higher level of detail and clarity, making them stand out from the standard circulation versions. A proof 1985 nickel, in excellent condition, could be worth significantly more than its face value. Now, you might be wondering how much this 1985 nickel could be worth today. The value of a 1985 nickel depends heavily on its condition, mint mark, and any unique features it might have. A standard 1985 nickel in circulated condition is generally worth only a few cents more than its face value, but that's just the beginning. If you have an uncirculated version, or perhaps a proof coin from the San Francisco Mint, the value can be much higher. For those lucky enough to possess a 1985 nickel in excellent, uncirculated condition, the price can soar into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if the coin is graded as a mint state specimen. And if you happen to have one of the rarest error coins or proof versions in top condition, it could be worth an impressive $46,000. Top 4, we're going to explore a fascinating piece of U.S. numismatic history, the United States 5-cent coin from 1987. While it may seem like just another nickel in the grand scheme of things, the 1987 5-cent coin has a lot more to offer than you might expect. Stick around until the end to discover just how much this small, seemingly ordinary coin is worth in today's market. You'll be amazed at its value and significance, so let's dive in. To understand the importance of the 1987 nickel, we need to look at the time in which it was minted. The 1980s were a period of significant change and growth for the United States. Ronald Reagan was in his second term as president, and the country was enjoying a period of economic expansion following the deep recessions of the 1970s and early 1980s. The economic boom was marked by rising stock markets, lower unemployment, and a surge in consumer spending. However, the decade was also not without its challenges, including concerns over the arms race, the AIDS epidemic, and growing tensions in the Middle East. The 1987 nickel was produced during this period of optimism and change. While the country was navigating its way through complex geopolitical issues and the dynamics of the Cold War, everyday life was being shaped by the economic growth and the changing social landscape of the time. Coins like the 5-cent piece were used in countless daily transactions, making them an essential part of the everyday economy. But even as these coins circulated freely, the 1987 nickel would go on to stand out among the countless others minted that year. The design of the 1987 nickel is a direct continuation of the Jefferson Nickels series, which has been in circulation since 1938. Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, has been the face of the nickel for decades, and his image remains one of the most iconic in U.S. coinage. The obverse of the 1987 nickel features a portrait of Jefferson, based on the famous painting by Rembrandt Peale. Jefferson is depicted as a dignified and thoughtful statesman, embodying the ideals of liberty and democracy that were foundational to the United States. The reverse side of the 1987 nickel depicts Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia. Monticello, with its distinctive neoclassical design, was chosen as the reverse design for the nickel because it symbolizes Jefferson's contributions to American society, not just as president, but also as a philosopher, architect, and founding father. The image of Monticello on the reverse side is a lasting tribute to Jefferson's vision for the nation and a reminder of his complex legacy. The Monticello design has remained unchanged since its introduction in 1938, making it one of the longest-standing designs in U.S. coin history. The 1987 nickel was struck in large quantities at 3 different U.S. mints: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The vast majority of the 1987 nickels were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which are responsible for most of the circulating coinage in the United States. The San Francisco Mint, on the other hand, produced proof versions of the coin, which were sold to collectors. These proof coins have a special finish, which makes them distinct from regular circulation coins. The proof 1987 nickels are highly prized by collectors because of their sharp, mirror-like surface and high-quality finish. As with most U.S. coins, the 1987 nickel is composed of a blend of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin has a diameter of 21.21 mm and weighs 5 grams. Its smooth edge is characteristic of the nickel, and its size and weight are consistent with the standard 5-cent coin. While the composition and specifications of the 1987 nickel are identical to those of previous years, what makes this particular coin so intriguing is the number of them that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition over the years. Most of the 1987 nickels were used in everyday transactions, and as a result, many of them show signs of wear and damage. Coins that have been in circulation for a long time typically suffer from scratches, discoloration, and other forms of degradation. However, some coins from this era have been preserved in exceptional condition, either because they were carefully stored by collectors or never circulated at all. These well-preserved nickels are highly sought after in the numismatic community. The most valuable 1987 nickels are those that remain in mint condition. A coin that has not been subjected to the wear and tear of circulation is considered uncirculated. Uncirculated coins are highly desirable because they retain their original luster and details, making them stand out from the rest. The higher the grade of a coin, on a scale from 1 to 70, the more valuable it becomes. Coins that are graded 65 or above are considered to be in near-perfect condition and can command significant premiums in the market. In addition to uncirculated coins, there are also certain variants and errors that can make the 1987 nickel even more valuable. These include slight design variations, minting errors, and other anomalies that can occur during the production process. Error coins are especially popular among collectors because they are rare and unique. A small mistake during the minting process, such as a misaligned die or a struck-through error, can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a highly valuable collector's item. If you happen to find a 1987 nickel with a minting error, you could be in possession of a coin worth much more than its face value. But what about proof coins from the San Francisco Mint? Proof coins are typically struck using polished dies and multiple strikes to create a sharper, more detailed design. These coins are made for collectors and have a smooth, mirror-like finish that distinguishes them from regular circulation coins. The 1987 proof nickel is an excellent example of this, and a well-preserved proof coin in a high grade can fetch a significantly higher price than a regular nickel. So, just how much is the 1987 nickel worth today? The value of this coin depends on a variety of factors, including its condition, whether it has been graded by a professional service, and whether it has any unique features, such as a minting error or proof status. A standard 1987 nickel in circulated condition is worth only a few cents more than its face value, but a pristine, uncirculated coin could be worth hundreds of dollars. If you happen to have one of the rare 1987 era coins, or a proof coin in excellent condition, its value could be significantly higher. The big reveal? If you own an uncirculated 1987 nickel, or even better, one of the rare era coins or proof coins in top condition, it could be worth an astounding $43,000, that's right, $43,000 for a single 1987 nickel. It's incredible to think that such a small coin, which may have once been spent casually, could now hold such a high value in the world of numismatics. So, if you come across a 1987 nickel in your collection or in your change, be sure to check its condition carefully. You might just be holding onto a small fortune. Top 5, we're diving into an exceptional coin that, despite its modest size and face value, holds an intriguing place in the world of rare and valuable U.S. coins, the United States 5-cent coin from 1999. If you think a 1999 nickel is just another ordinary coin from the late 20th century, think again. By the end of this video, you'll discover why this small piece of currency could be worth a small fortune, and why collectors are so eager to get their hands on one in perfect condition. To start, let's step back in time to the year 1999. The United States was entering the final year of the millennium, and the country was buzzing with anticipation for the new century. The late 1990s were a time of technological innovation and rapid economic growth. The dot-com boom was in full swing, and the world was becoming increasingly connected through the rise of the internet. President Bill Clinton was in office, and the country was experiencing a period of prosperity, marked by a strong economy, low unemployment, and a budget surplus for the first time in decades. It was an exciting time to be alive, and the year 1999 would prove to be significant in more ways than one. But amid all the economic optimism and technological advances, something much smaller, yet historically significant, was happening in the world of U.S. currency. The 1999 5-cent coin, or nickel, was being minted and circulated as part of the long-standing Jefferson Nickels series. This humble nickel, which might seem insignificant at first glance, represents an important moment in U.S. coinage history, and its story goes far beyond its face value. The 1999 nickel is part of the Jefferson Nickels series, which has been in circulation since 1938. Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, has been featured on the obverse of the nickel for over 80 years. The 1999 version of the coin continues this tradition, showcasing Jefferson's iconic portrait, created by artist Felix Schlag. This image, based on a painting by Rembrandt Peale, captures Jefferson as a dignified and thoughtful statesman, qualities that embody the ideals of liberty and democracy on which the United States was founded. On the reverse of the 1999 nickel, you'll find the familiar image of Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia. Monticello has been part of the reverse design since 1938, symbolizing Jefferson's contributions to the country, not just as president, but also as an architect, philosopher, and visionary. The neoclassical architecture of Monticello stands as a tribute to Jefferson's intellectual pursuits and his lasting impact on American society. This design, simple yet profound, is instantly recognizable and remains one of the most iconic symbols in U.S. coinage. While the design of the 1999 nickel may seem familiar, it's important to note that this particular coin was minted during a year of transition in the history of U.S. coins. In 1999, the U.S. Mint was preparing to make significant changes to the designs of several of its coins as part of the 50 State Quarters program, which would begin in 1999 and run through 2008. This program would feature designs celebrating each of the 50 states, and it would ultimately become one of the most popular and widely collected coin series in U.S. history. The 1999 nickel, however, remained true to its long-standing design. Even as the mint was preparing for these changes, the 1999 5-cent coin was struck at 3 different U.S. mints: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The vast majority of these coins were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, but a small number of proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint. These proof coins, made specifically for collectors, have a special finish that makes them stand out from the regular circulating coins. Proof coins are struck multiple times to create a sharper, more detailed design, and they have a mirror-like surface that makes them highly desirable among collectors. In terms of its composition, the 1999 nickel is made from a combination of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which has been the standard for U.S. nickels for many years. The coin has a diameter of 21.21 mm and weighs 5 grams. Its smooth edge is typical for nickels, and its size and weight are consistent with other nickels that were minted during the late 20th century. The 1999 nickel's basic specifications are largely unchanged from previous years, but it is the condition in which the coin survives that can dramatically affect its value today. Like most coins, the 1999 nickel was used extensively in everyday transactions, which means that the majority of these coins show signs of wear and damage. Over time, coins that are circulated tend to accumulate scratches, dings, and discoloration. However, some of the 1999 nickels have managed to survive in pristine, uncirculated condition, either because they were carefully stored by collectors or because they were never used in circulation at all. These uncirculated coins are incredibly valuable to collectors, as they represent the coin in its original, perfect state. Uncirculated coins are graded by professional services on a scale of 1 to 70, with higher grades indicating better condition. A coin that has been kept in near-perfect condition is known as a mint state coin. Mint state coins are particularly valuable, as they have retained their original detail, shine, and appearance, making them highly sought after by numismatists. Coins that are graded 65 or higher are considered to be in excellent condition and are often the most valuable on the market. While the 1999 nickel is not as rare as some of the other coins from U.S. history, there are certain factors that can increase its value. In particular, coins with unique features or minting errors can be worth much more than their face value. Minting errors can occur during the production process, and when they do, they can make a coin truly one of a kind. For example, a 1999 nickel with a misaligned die, a double strike, or other error could be worth significantly more than a regular nickel. These error coins are highly prized by collectors, and if you're lucky enough to find one, it could be worth a small fortune. Proof coins are also worth more than standard circulating coins. Proof coins are struck with special care and precision, and they are sold in limited quantities to collectors. A 1999 proof nickel, especially one in excellent condition, could be worth hundreds of dollars more than a regular circulating nickel. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big reveal? How much is a 1999 nickel worth today? The answer is truly remarkable. If you have an uncirculated 1999 nickel, or even better, one of the rare error coins or proof coins in top condition, it could be worth an astonishing $32,000. Yes, you heard that right, $32,000 for a single 1999 5-cent coin. This goes to show just how valuable well-preserved coins can be, and how something as seemingly ordinary as a nickel can become a highly coveted collector's item over time. So, if you have a 1999 nickel in your collection, or if you happen to come across one in your spare change, be sure to check its condition. You could be holding onto a coin worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future coin discoveries. Happy collecting!